kidding me? Absolutely. Every year, I wait anxiously to hunt what I believe are one of North America's most elusive creatures. And while the hunting action typically happens in November, scouting and hunt preparation starts a few months prior. In this location, I invested a great deal of time setting up a tree stand and cutting shooting lanes, all in the effort of targeting one specific buck. This is a buck that I have 2 years of trail camera history with, and I call him Squatch. Hunting a buck of this caliber comes with many uncertainties, and there's 1,000 variables between now and a clean shot. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. If Squatch is alive, he will return to these areas, and I'll be damn sure to at least get a trail camera picture of him. So I think in October, I was just about ready to head up north for work. And I remember I had one day to check cameras and go into my spot. And for me, October is still very early in the season for blacktail. Typically, the rut picks up around the first week of November for me. However, I have pictures of Squatch last year in this area in late October. So I went in and I hunted it, and I collected those camera cards. Well, when I got home to check on those camera cards, I was absolutely floored because I did not have Squatch on the cam. I did not have a blacktail deer on the camera. Instead, I had some very unexpected and very unwanted guests. In an effort to diversify my hunt, I hiked over 100 kilometers and scouted 6 locations during the pre-season. This will give me options and allow me to pivot at any moment if need be. After all, I believe there's merit in the saying, never put all your eggs in one basket. The problem that I have at the beginning of the November rut is that I wish I could be everywhere at the same time. And predicting buck movement at this time feels like a shot in the dark. Especially when all you have to go off of are year-old trail camera pictures.
For me, it surely begs the question. Between 6 mountains, how do you pick which mountain to be on any given day? After the first week of November, I returned to the stand. I need to find out once and for all. Is he alive? Or is he dead?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Nothing but black bears. On November 11th, as I was making my ascent up the mountain, this buck, a beautiful 3x4 with eye guards, decided to show up. Despite making the right decision to hunt this mountain on this day, I narrowly missed an encounter with this buck by an hour and 10 minutes.
So after realizing that that buck was clearly going to be rutting on that mountainside, I decided to drop anchor, and I really hunted that mountain hard. I put some more cams out, I even built a makeshift hunting blind, and I went for it. And what proceeded was probably the most ridiculous 1 week game of cat and mouse ever. I hunted that buck hard, and I still hunted that mountain to the best of my abilities. And I remember there were days I was literally walking on his tracks and thinking, I'm gonna see this thing. You know, you could almost even smell him at times, but I never found him. And I remember I had some great days of hunting. One day I encountered 8 does, all within bow range, but not a single buck, and he was not with them. So it was very frustrating. eventually I stopped getting pictures of him altogether and the trail went cold, and that was it.
Between the 6 locations that I hunted this year, there were a handful of smaller bucks that were frequenting the cameras. And although none of these bucks I found worth pursuing this year, 2 of which, including this buck, are easily worth keeping an eye on. And if they survive, they will likely be the subjects of many future hunts.
So it's coming down to the wire, and it's nearing the end of the month, and I was really struggling to know how to cap off this hunt and finish strong. I had basically given up on filming altogether, and I kind of felt like I was running out of options. For one, my target bucks are gone. One of my spots is completely overrun with black bears, and my other spots are not producing the quality of buck that I was wanting to pursue. So I needed to come to terms with that situation and completely pivot. So I decided to pick up and head into a brand new area that I had never been to before. And this turned out to be one of the best decisions that I made all month. So I got out of the truck, and I think I took 30 steps into that bush before I realized that I was in a very special area. I looked down, and there are poops and tracks and beds everywhere. And no sooner did that happen, I jump a deer. And I heard the deer take 3 bounding leaps away, but then it stopped. So I knew it was either still standing there or it was just quietly walking away at that point. So I decided to still hunt my way over to the deer, and sure enough, I come around the tree and there's a 2-point buck standing there. After he leaves, I walk over to his bed and I look down, and there's this little spike antler, this little 2-point shed antler, and I picked it up. And I thought it was the funniest thing, because I would bet you money that that's the same antler from that same buck, and he had shed it in that bed. So I'm standing there admiring this shed antler and getting a little video of it when all of a sudden I can hear him coming back and I can hear some sticks breaking. But I didn't react because I knew what he was, and obviously I'm not going to shoot that buck. My gun is leaning on the tree to my right. When all of a sudden he comes over the embankment, and it's a completely different buck, and it is a beautiful 4-point. And I can't move because he is scanning the bush before he puts his head down, and now he's working his way towards me with his head down. Well, he saw me right away. I was standing there like a sore thumb, and he took off, and that was it. I tried calling that buck in again. I did a whole rattling sequence and nothing. There was not a sound that I could make to try to lure that buck in again. So that same day, I decided to do some more exploring, and I encountered a set of rubs that were absolutely ridiculous. So I went back the next day, and I went into a kind of a different area, but it was more or less that same hillside, and it was beautiful country in there. It opened up, big old growth cedar. It was absolutely pristine. I come up over this rise, and if it's not the same 2-point buck that I encountered the day before, so I watched him for a bit, and he took off. On the third day, I encountered another buck, and it was a little spike. But the 4-point was nowhere to be found, and I was devastated. But that area turned out to be one of the most pristine hunting areas that I had ever found. I walked away from that feeling very encouraged because I think possibly I have a new honey hole, and I know how to hunt it this year. And because of that, I am very excited. Thanks for watching my 2025 Blacktail Hunt. I think the major lesson that I learned this year is that sheer effort doesn't guarantee a harvest. But the reality is that hunting is its own reward, and the lessons and memories gained are the true measure of a successful hunt.